What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and one of the things that I absolutely hate the most about YouTube is when I have to dumb myself down while covering a story. You know, when you have a large platform, that comes with a certain level of responsibilities. And when you're approaching a story, you want to be very cautious with what information you share and what opinions you share. And you always want to approach these delicate situations with a certain level of sensitivity. And in order to do that, sometimes you have to just play stupid while covering a story. And I gotta say that I feel like I've had to play stupid while covering this Carlee Russell story the entire time. I mean, I am looking online and people are like, maybe aliens took Carlee. People are coming up with theories that maybe Carlee saw a ghost baby. No, that wasn't a real child. That was the spirit of a child. And then, of course, there's the theories that a midget dressed up as a kid, and there's some type of midget pretending to be a baby out here kidnapping grown women. You know, all of these wild theories instead of someone just kind of saying it how it is. You know, the reality about this Carlee Russell situation is the writing is right there on the wall. We could sit here and we could come up with different theories. We can sit here and shy away from the facts that are right in front of our face. But I think we all kind of have a feeling about where this story is going. I think we all have a feeling about what kind of transpired here. And the lack of information that is coming from police is very telling. The fact that still to this, things may change by the time you watch this video, but at the time of this recording, the police aren't worried about no baby on the loose. They ain't looking for no baby. Police ain't worried about no kidnappers. They aren't looking for any kidnappers. They're not saying there's a threat to the public, and I believe they're not saying those things for a reason. If you haven't already, watch my video that I put out yesterday going over the police's statement about this whole situation. When you read that statement, or you hear me reading that statement, I don't want you to necessarily listen to the words that they say. I want you to think about the words that they don't say. Because I really feel like law enforcement released that statement kind of just to put it out there in a nice way that they know that this situation didn't go down how Carlee and other people are claiming it went down. That's just my opinion. You know, I see a lot of people saying that, what? You wish that Carlee was hurt? You wish she was dead? No, none of us wish that. We're all glad that Carlee came home. You know, that's the best case scenario. Hoax, truth, doesn't matter. I'm glad that Carlee's alive. That's the best case scenario. I can guarantee you that her family, her mom and her dad, regardless if she got kidnapped or it's a hoax, they're just glad that their baby is home. And I understand that. But at the same time, there are a few questions that need to be answered. And in most true crime cases, we wouldn't have a problem asking these questions. The only reason why people are shying away from asking questions when it comes to this case is because we have a lot of people out here attacking people and labeling them as racist and all of this other nonsense whenever they question the narrative that is out there. But the reality is, none of these people care about Carlee's safety. They care about the safety of the narrative that they're spinning, trying to turn this into some type of racial situation and all of that nonsense. They don't care about protecting Carlee. They care about protecting the narrative. Because if this narrative is shattered, it makes everyone look bad who was constantly putting out this racial narrative the whole entire time. So miss me with that nonsense that y'all care about Carlee's safety, because if you did, you would be out here wanting Carlee's abductors to be found, No one's out here, stressing that we need to find justice for Carlee. We need to find those responsible. No one is out here advocating for that because everyone is on the same page, regardless if they want to admit it or not, that this situation does not look right. But, sometimes you just got to hit people with their own logic. For everyone that is out there claiming that the people who are asking questions, you're claiming that we wanted something bad to happen to Carlee. No, we just want to make sure that a child is safe and that there's no threat to the public. But I can tell that y'all wanted something bad to happen to Carlee because instead of, maybe just looking at the evidence that is out there and, coming to a logical conclusion that maybe none of this happened, y'all are dead set on believing that something bad and terrible happened to Carlee. So the reality is, the people who are screaming that nonsense, all they're doing is projecting. Those of us who are asking logical questions, we are hoping nothing happened to Carlee. Y'all are hoping that something did, so y'all could be proven right. So y'all could go ahead and go along with the same narrative that y'all have been spreading, so y'all can sit here and act like she was a victim. That's all y'all are worried about. Y'all want to protect the victim narrative. Y'all want her to be a victim. All we want is the truth. That's why y'all are dead set on making sure that she's a victim. Y'all desperately want something to have happened to Carlee. So we can't say, hey, it's a hoax and let's move on from this story. Y'all desperately want something to have happened to that woman so y'all could be proven right, so y'all don't look stupid for all of the nonsense that y'all have been spewing for the last few days. Me, I'm interested in the truth, and for the most part, I'm not here to drag anyone if it's a hoax. I just want to know what actually happened here. I want to know, is there a threat to the public? What about the little kid? You're not going to sit here and just make me forget that a little kid was involved in this situation. So all you got to do, folks, if you're seeing those people spreading that nonsense online, hit them with the same logic. Oh, why do you so desperately need for something to have happened to Carlee? Why? So it could go along with the narrative that you're spreading? Why are y'all so desperately adamant about something bad happening to Carlee when it looks like right now, and I could be wrong, it doesn't look like this situation played out in the way that we thought it did. Okay? Just point blank period. And that's the nicest way I can put it. You do not want me doubling down and going into a rant when it comes to this situation, because I will, and I'm trying to hold back from doing that. But like I said at the beginning of this video, sometimes, when you have a large platform and you're trying to be respectful of a situation, you kind of got to sit back and play stupid. So I guess that's what I'll do. But other people aren't going to play stupid. Other people are speaking out. In fact, let's go ahead and roll this clip. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We are on the road to 100K. I enjoy making these videos. Hopefully you enjoy watching them. It's totally free to watch. All you got to do is hit the thumbs up button. It's totally free. And share this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We are going to watch this news clip. And then, of course, I'm going to be back with more thoughts because I have a lot of them.
And we are joined now by Eric Guster, a trial attorney and legal analyst in Birmingham, Alabama. So you say you have some doubts about this story. Some things don't add up. What stands out to you and why?
Well, there are a lot of issues that are occurring in this story. Number one, being from Central Alabama, there has been no BOLO, no be on the lookout for suspects. And the Hoover Police Department has been very, very, very quiet about this. If there is someone who was abducting women on the side of the road, we would have descriptions. We would know who they were. We would know what kind of cars to look for, because all of us who live in the area were really on pins and needles for the whole weekend.
So how do investigators go about tracking her, do you believe, validating or invalidating the story that she told law enforcement?
Well, one of the things that they have is video. Hoover Police Department released video in reference to where her car stopped. Because what do people do when they are not very truthful about events? They forget that there's video camera everywhere. And what they're going to do is they're going to track her cell phone, see where she went. They're going to look at, from what I understand, she was at a local motel, and they're going to pull camera footage from there. They will also ask to speak to people who may be persons of interest, people who may have helped her, people who may have seen her, and her friends and family and close people to her, to see exactly what they say occurred if they saw her that weekend.
Can you tell us a little bit about the mood in Birmingham when this story first broke? Were there a lot of people on edge? What was the sense in the community?
Everyone was on edge. I'm married, and I told my wife, don't stop for anyone who's on the side of the road. Just call 911 or call the emergency helpline. I called my family members and other friends. Make sure you don't stop, because everyone was afraid that there were some kidnappers on the loose. But now that she returned home on her own on Saturday night, and there's been nothing from the police department except a statement where they say they stated she called and said that there was a child on the side of the road. However, this I-459, the interstate, is a very, very heavily traveled interstate, and no one else saw what she claimed to see. So it's a lot of mystery behind this, a lot of tension, and people are actually relieved that she's fine, but really want to know what the whole story is.
Thank you for watching.
You know the type of person I am. When someone tells me to shut up, I talk louder. When someone tries to stop me from asking questions, I ask even more questions. So the effort that is being put out there to silence people who are questioning this story is only making me feel more passionate about speaking out about this story. Okay? And I mean, there's just so many things. You could break this story apart in so many ways. For one, you saw the clip that they just played there on the news. Look how tall that grass was. It's almost covering the German Shepherd that's out there looking for Carlee's abductors. It's almost covering the German Shepherd, yet Carlee, from 100 yards away, saw a little 3-year-old child, knew what the child was wearing as it was traversing its way through the dense shrubbery and tall grass that would probably be just as tall, if not taller, than a 3-year-old child. I mean, there's so many different things you could break apart. And from the beginning of me looking into this story, I was thinking that it could be some type of mental breakdown. And it very well still could be. But the more I think about that, the more that doesn't make sense either. She went and got food. Where did the food go? Did she leave the phone, wig, and watch behind, but take the food? And we know that she didn't just get food for herself. Supposedly she was getting food for someone else too, her mom or something. So it looks like she took off with 2 meals into the woods to go wherever the hell she went. Also, usually when someone's having a mental breakdown, they don't have the mental awareness to know, like, all right, I need to ditch my Apple Watch. I need to ditch my phone. I need to ditch everything that would be traceable. Usually when someone's having a mental breakdown, a family member may be able to tell. But in this case, she literally called law enforcement, and she was on the phone with her sister-in-law, which I don't even know who's real family members in this family anymore or not. But if she was on the phone with her sister-in-law, did her sister-in-law not notice that, hey, you're talking weird, something's off about this conversation, are you okay? I mean, there's no word of any of that. It seems like Carlee was perfectly fine, and then she just saw this child on the side of the road and wanted to stop to save the baby. But think about this. If you're having a mental episode, you're having a mental breakdown, how do you evade law enforcement for 2 or 3 days? How? Where the hell would she go? And if you're having a mental breakdown, you don't know where to go to hide. Who's going to take you in when you're missing? When your name is all over the news, you're not just making national headlines, you're making international headlines. And let's not forget that this woman had to disappear in a matter of minutes. In a matter of minutes. So if she's having a mental breakdown, damn, she really had, her wits about her to know, okay, I'm going to evade police, I'm not going to get caught, and I'm going to go somewhere where I can't be found until I decide to return home. There's so many things here. And like I was saying earlier on in this video, everyone's like, it could be aliens, ghost babies. And it's like, we're looking at all of this nonsensical stuff instead of looking at what's right in front of us. The writing is clearly right there on the wall. And I mean, at this point, when you really think about it, and in ways I don't even really want to think about it, because the more I think about it, the more I could just dissect this whole story. And I think anyone can if they just use some critical, logical thinking. But even the mental health episode aspect of this, I do believe that eventually mental health will probably be used as an excuse here. But when I'm looking at the situation, it doesn't play out like a mental health episode. You know what I mean? Because it seems like at the very least, someone had a plan to get her, or she had a plan to get away within minutes, and then had somewhere to go because the whole town's looking for her. Hell, the whole world's looking for her, and no one could find her for days. You know, so I mean, there is something really fishy about this entire story. And I'm honestly tired of pretending that there's not. There's something fishy, which is why I went ahead and put on my fishing gear. I might go out to the pond and go fishing, because that would be less fishy than the shit that I'm seeing when it comes to this story. But all in all, before I say too much, let me go ahead and go. Let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you on the next video.